This is Kathy Eaton of Kathy Eaton Designs, and I'm going to talk to you today about some crochet and how to do that with some beads. Creative Aging Network is where I'm filming. I have a studio there at 2400 Summit Avenue in Greensboro. So what you're looking at here is a bunch of beads on a very thin ribbon. To get to the beginning of crocheting, you first string on all the beads. But before I string on all the beads, I take the crochet hook, and this is the one I'm using today. It'll be specific to whatever your choices are. And I test all the beads to make sure that the hook fits through the bead. And so I go through my stash of beads. I love fondling beads, so that's no problem. And I set aside the ones that my hook will fit through with whatever ribbon I've chosen or yarn. And then I have this large stash of beads, and I lay them out somewhat like this, in whatever pattern that I find pleasing. I've tried doing random, and I'm not really good at doing random. So I lay them out in order, and then I string them on one bead at a time in the order I laid them out. So that's how we get to where we are today. Every bead has been strung on. I'll show you how that happens. You take a bead. We'll pretend for the moment that it's not attached. You put your hook through. You lay the yarn over the hook and pull it through the bead. And just do that with every bead, and that's how you string all the beads on. So that would be a very boring video, in my opinion, so I did that in advance. In fact, I have made a little bit of the beginning of this, and this video may go in two different sections. This is the way this is looking so far. But the next thing I will do is put a row of double crochet across the top of that. So right now, I've left a very long tail because I don't know yet what kind of clasp I want. I have made a chain, and if you don't know how to crochet a chain, there are a lot of videos about how to do that, and you might even pick it up from watching me do the chains that I'm doing now. So the numbers I'm using, and of course it'll vary in what you're going to be using, depending on the size of the beads, the size of the necklace, how wide you like it, just design elements. But I'm doing 9 chains between, with 3 down and 3 back up. So let me show you what that looks like. If you have a stitch marker, it might be handy to put that at number 9. So here we are, having just excuse my clumsiness. Just connected this part of that bead. And I'm going to chain 12. Now here's what chaining is. You wrap the yarn around your hand whatever way you can. I couldn't learn crochet for the longest time because it was a specific way around the little finger. You were supposed to go. It doesn't matter. Somehow this is going to act, this one or this one's going to act like the up and down on a sewing machine. So to chain, you put your hook through, you put the yarn over, called yarn over, and turn the hook where it will grab the yarn and pull it through. Now, this is a wider part of the hook, I can take that loop down here to make it easier for me to get through. So if you can see this loop, this is an exaggerated version of what you'll be dealing with. It is a teardrop, and there's a small size right here that you want to aim that hook into. So here we go. I just did one. Here's two. Wait a minute, let me count them. I can count my little V's. 1, 2, so this is the third one. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I had a stitch marker, I would put it in number 9, because I'm going to come back to that in a minute. 10, 11, 12. At this point, you scoot up the next bead and continue 3 more. So yarn over, pull it through that loop, and then I'm going to spend a second and make that kind of tight so that the yarn is up against the bead. And again, I need it big enough to get that through there. 1, 2, 3 chains. Now, here's where the stitch marker would have been handy, because I need to go back 1, 2, 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. And that means there's 9 in here. And yarn over and pull that through both of those loops. Now, I've connected the 2 ends going out of the bead, very much like each of these others. And then I do it again. 1, 2. Now notice that I'm rotating this. I'm catching the yarn, rotating it, and the little hook part is going to go in that teardrop part. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's where I would put a stitch marker if I was doing that. 10, 11, 12. Scoot the bead up, yarn over, capturing the bead, and pull it through. And now you have a choice. You can let it dangle like this, or you can try to center it like that. So I'm going to yarn over and pull it through and squish it up together, trying to make it centered. Okay, then 1, 2, 3, and then go back to 3 before you started, or count down 9. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Put your hook in, yarn over, pull through, and pull through both of them. Both of them. And then pull it tight. And then do it again. And you just keep this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9, and that's where you would put your marker. Then 3 more, 10, 11, 12. Slide your bead up, capture it, not over, pull through. That's how you capture it. Tighten it up, and then do 3. 1, 2, 3, and then go back 1, 2, 3, and go through both. 1, 2, and then do it again. 2, okay. I have split my thread, so go backwards. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with crochet, I'll show you a little trick. Watch what happens when you pull. You just undo everything you've done. So, when you're going to set something aside in crochet, be sure that you've secured that last loop right there somehow. Stitch markers work really well. Paper clips work well. So do bobby pins. If you remember what those are. Safety pins sometimes work okay. Sometimes the yarn or the thread or the ribbon gets caught in the small parts. So what I do, because I'm going to pause this and show you what I'll be doing in the next video, is I'm going to capture my yarn ball. In my loop. That's just because that's what I happen to have here right now. Well, maybe I'm not. Okay, I've captured it. So that's not going to pull out. Now, this is not what I'm going to do with this tail in real life, but I'm going to pretend I have gotten to the end of all of these beads and I'm starting back again. So we're pretending that this is however many days later it took me to get to the end of this sack of beads. And I'm at the finished end. So we're pretending that this is the finished end. And I've got my whole ball of yarn still attached over here. What I'm going to do is start a double crochet. So for double crochet, for me personally, I want to go in, yarn over, pull through, and make a chain, a tiny chain on the very end, because that's where you turn. They're called turning chains. So my hands are fairly large and arthritic, and I'm used to doing with big, much bigger yarn than this, size 4, something like that. Okay, so I have now chained 1, chained 2, and now I'm going to yarn over, go into the next stitch, And now I'll have 3 loops on there. I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2 of those, and then yarn over and pull through 2 again. That's called double crochet, and I have a little, what's called a post, that is 2 chains high. So we're going to do that again. Yarn over. You can see that I have gone into this stitch. So next time I'm going into the next stitch. Yarn over and go into the next stitch. And I'm just having 1 loop on there. Yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through 2. One at a time if you have to. And then yarn over and pull through 2. Now I want to do this just for a little while to show you the effect, because you can have the necklace very long just looking like this. And it'll be very long. You can wrap it around several times, depending on how many beads you added. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, 1 at a time if necessary, and then yarn over, pull through 2. We're just going to keep that up until we get all the way to the other end of our strand of captured beads. I'll do 1 more and show you the effect. And we're pretending this is still attached to the yarn ball or the ribbon ball. And pull through 2. And so this is what you're going to be getting. You'll be getting something that's about that thick, and from the bottom will be hanging those beads all the way across. So the next, and watch, told you about locking, or it undoes, all done. So next time, hopefully I'll have all of that like this, and we'll do the double crochet back across. And I thank you for participating. Kathy Eaton with Kathy Eaton Designs through Creative Aging Network. Signing off.